Hello. So in this video, what we're going to do is work the energy of time and money. So one of the things that comes up for people sometimes is they're worried that they don't have the time or they don't have the money. And so I want to talk a little bit about how this works in the Clairvoyant program. So first of all, we'll just do specifics. So basically how it works is in terms of time, what the commitment is one whole weekend day a month, just one day. Not every weekend, just one weekend day. It's going to either be a whole Saturday or a whole Sunday, and it just depends when you come into the program that day is. So sometimes it's a Sunday, sometimes it's a Saturday. I'll be sending everybody that specific information on what that is. Usually class starts at 10. It goes to like 5:30. There's lunch in between, and it's like takes an hour and a half. There's breaks and stuff too. And we usually do 2 whole topics a day, and it's a lot of fun. And I'll get into what everything covers later on. But that's how the time works. And then every week we have kind of like a practicum in which people practice reading. And it's really beneficial to learn how to read in a group. So that's what you guys are learning how to do, is read in a group. Now, there's not a lot required of you at the very beginning with the readings. You're just sitting there and saying whatever you see. And if you see nothing, you're like, I don't see anything. And that's okay. You're a student. That's where it's at. You're not expected to know everything. We will get into that part in the confidence meditation. Today, we're going to do time and money. So people worry about time. And I prefer people to be there at all the readings. If they can, that would be great. It's Tuesday nights. People usually show up between 6:30 and 7. But if you can't make it to all of them, I'm not super dogmatic or anything. I mean, ultimately, people get what they put into the program. So if people can't put in that much time, they don't become quite as confident with the readings. But if they show up every week, you guys will have a lot of confidence with that. A lot of people really grow in that area. So that is definitely something people will get out of this. So time, one whole day a month, and Tuesday night is practice. And usually it's again from 6:30 or 7, you show up, you meditate for half an hour together, and then at 7:30, people start the student readings, and the student readings end at 9, and then from 9 to 9:30, people have a cleanup. So, and then if you have questions or whatever, we can do that afterwards. So you also get a lot of teacher time, a lot of, you get every week, there's time for you guys to ask questions about the tools you're learning or if things come up. So you definitely have a lot of support. So that is the time piece. Sometimes people worry like, oh, a lot of times what comes up is people, there's a lot of energy on this. So the energy around you is like, don't do it. And you'll think, oh, I'm too busy with work, or I'm too busy with this or that or the other. And what I have found about time, and it's not just me, I've seen it over and over and over with the students, is when you're doing this kind of a program, you probably experience that with meditations, intuitive meditation. When you're doing something like this, what happens is your life tends to get easier. Your life tends to be more stabilized. Things tend to be more smooth sailing. So because of that, you actually end up having more time. So you think, oh, I'm going to have less time if I spend this one whole day or spend Tuesday, a lot of Tuesday nights practicing. But what ends up happening is because your life just gets easier in a lot of ways, the lack of drama kind of makes up for a lot of the time that you think that you would be spending. So instead of spinning your wheels or being stuck or, on how to deal with things or how to manage things or feeling bad, a lot of that goes away. And so then all of a sudden you almost have more time. So that's what I saw when I took the Clairvoyant program. And that's what I've seen in terms of time with one student after the next. Like it's just, even Haley, if you guys are taking that healing class with Haley, like Haley was in college when she was taking that Clairvoyant class, and she just found that she had tons more time. It was pretty amazing. So that's kind of what we've noticed with time is we'll work some energy on it for sure, but people end up having a lot more time, or the perception of a lot more time, because there's just a lot more ease in their life. So that's what can happen with time. Money is kind of the same thing. It's really weird. Like a lot of space opens up for people when they are ready to do this. So with money, what can happen a lot of times is people are like, oh no, I don't have the money. I blah, 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 can't do it. And then what I've noticed is a lot of times it just comes in. people's vibrations raise, their mock-ups start coming in more easily, and a lot of times the money just happens. When I was doing the Clairvoyant program, I was really like, I don't know if I have the money. I paid for meditation class every week, and I'm willing to work stuff out with people, obviously, like if you need to do payments or do different days, all that kind of stuff. That's the particulars. But beyond the particulars, what I've noticed with money is a lot of times things just start popping in. So when I was doing the Clairvoyant program, I was making a certain amount of money, and I started the Clairvoyant program, and all of a sudden my boss was like, hey, I was in this marketing job, and he was like, hey, does anybody want to get a team, get some girls under them? We were doing this marketing, and I was like, I'll do it. Sure, that's not a problem. I'll totally do that. And next thing you know, within 2 months, I'm making $25,000 more a year. So, and that just happened. Like I worked on weekends, and I even took off the weekend that I was working. So I was working 3 weekends a month instead of 4, and making 25,000 more. Because I wanted that weekend to spend for Claire, because it was that important to me. I was feeling that much better. It was totally worth it. So, so I've noticed that that's not just me that's had that experience. It's like people's priorities and their stories. As their stories start to change around their life or around what's important, all of a sudden, a lot of stuff often starts just up leveling in people's lives. For example, I had another student, she's so cute. She started off like being this protester and this rioter and sitting on bridges and, blocking traffic. And this is sort of where she was at. And she was in a lot of, she was in some jobs where she was like kind of nonprofits jobs, because she really wanted to help humanity. This is a goal of hers. She likes to help people, which is awesome. That's great. And then as she stepped out of her victim energy in the program, she realized that a lot of the people that were around her were really negative, running a lot of anger and a lot of spite and and I'm not saying all nonprofits are like this, the one she was working at was, and there wasn't a lot of money. And so there was a lot of victim, a lot of lack, a lot of anger, and a lot of this. And shockingly, she went and got a job with a finance man who helped people with his finances, the man, as she would have put it. And she started making a ton more money. But it wasn't just that. What she said that was so shocking was that he was helping people. She was like, oh my God, Kawena, this guy spends so much time and so much energy helping his clients who were stuck. Some of them had all these stories of why they needed financial help. And all of a sudden, helping people went from kind of a tenuous philosophy to a real thing. Like, so suddenly she was making more money. She was around nice people, doing nice things for nice people. And she was genuinely seeing the benefit of the help that she was providing. So I've seen that kind of story again over and over and over and over and over again, where as people start shifting, the people around them can sometimes, not always, sometimes people have great people around them. But like in the case of that student, her job and her surroundings started changing. And with that, her money situation changed a lot too. And then paying for the program wasn't a thing. It was just easy. So I find that happens a lot with people with money. So time and money, that's the topic. But doesn't hurt to move energy in those areas at all, which is why we're going to do it right now. So let's all have you guys close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. I'm going to shut the video off so you're not distracted by my cute little face.